New Thought Media Network is pleased to present Treasures from the TAO, live on Tuesdays at noon Mountain Time with Reverend Jody Hill-Stevenson. Join us as Reverend Jody shares wisdoms, inspirations, and treasures from the TAO every Tuesday here on the New Thought Media Network. And here is Reverend Jody.
Greetings, friend. Thank you for coming to some of my most favorite minutes of my week, and that is to share time with you talking about ancient philosophy. It's the best. So this is the last Tuesday of February, and the theme for February, of course, has been love. We've talked a lot about different aspects of love. And the great 20th century teacher who was just so courageous to go to his college people and say, I want to teach a class on love, Leo Buscaglia, once wrote, love is always open arms. Love is always open arms. If you close your arms about love, you will find that you are left holding only yourself. I love that quote. It's so true. We are meant to be like this anyway. So for those of you who know me, you know that I have been a marriage counselor and a premarital counselor as a wedding officiant for since 1988, actually. So over the years, after observing so much in my office, I have come to believe that there are six truths about love. There's probably a lot more, but these are the ones that I most observed. So truth number one, love is a human phenomenon. We all want it, seek it, yearn for it, need it, and you know what? We all deserve it. The scientific research on love now, on the power of love, is growing, and it is actually very exciting. According to doctors, spending time with people who love you reduces the risk of an early death by 50%. I'll never forget when my niece had a brain tumor. I went to Oregon to help her through the process. And her brother was there and her husband and I was there, and we were all in this tiny little room and they were just about to take her in. And the doctor looked at me and said, I love this. I love seeing family here because so many people are in here and they don't have anybody. And that was such a profound moment for me. Now, fortunately, my angels kept me away from drugs because I think I would have loved so many of them. But research shows that falling in love has similar effects on the body as taking cocaine. I'm not recommending you go take cocaine. I am recommending you welcome more love into your life. And this is not just about love between two people at all. Love can show up anywhere. So right before my beloved Dewey went over to the spirit world, it was about a week before I knew it was coming to an end, he and I went over to a park behind our home. And we both laid on our tummies and we were plastered against each other. And we were watching, both of us, the leaves coming down, the fall leaves coming off the tree, just so gently coming down. And I looked at him and he looked at me and we kissed and we do what we did. And I looked over and I saw the mountains and the blue sky. And I can't begin to tell you the love that I felt in that moment. I go there a lot because needless to say, I miss this being in my life. I'm going to ask you to do something this week if you've not already done it. And just please say yes to me. Please, please, please treat yourself. Please. This week, my husband and I watched one of the most phenomenal movies on love that I have ever seen. It's on Netflix and it's called My Octopus Teacher. It was unbelievable. It was, it's one of those movies that get under your skin and you're changed forever. So My Octopus Teacher, Netflix. Treat yourself. Number 2, love can never, ever, ever be used up. Isn't that exciting? But it is demanding. It is absolutely demanding. It demands that we seek balance in our relationships with each other and with nature. That's one of the core teachings of Taoism, to love nature so much that we actually learn how to be in harmony with it. Because the very essence of the teaching of Taoism on love is to be in harmony. And once we're in harmony, oh my gosh, it feels like being kissed by the divine all the time. Number 3, there is no such thing as perfect love between two people. Perfect love would be that which gives all and expects nothing back. There has to be an exchange. There has to be. One of the things I've done in my counseling all these years is I observe where a couple is out of balance. And that's where they experience the conflict. Number 4. Ooh, this one, I get so much pushback. I can't even, in my classes, in my speeches, in my books that I've written, people have said, I don't agree with you, but I am right on this. So, number 4, everyone is doing the best they can at any given moment. Take a deep breath. Everyone is doing the best they can at any given moment. Why waste time and energy judging each other? Sarcasm is the greatest shadow to love. So in my talks about this over the years, I have asked the question when I'm talking about the shadows of love or God or whatever we want to call it, I've asked the question, how many of you have ever felt judged in your life? Think about that. Of course, everyone raises their hand. And then number 2, how many of you have judged another human being? Sometimes the hands come down because there's a lot of shame in admitting that. Then my next question is, which one feels better? To judge another human being or to be judged? Most people will say to judge another human being because they don't know I'm doing it. That's a false statement. We send out energies of negativity or we send out energies of love. One of the things I say in my talk is that when we judge another human being, although no one can really hear us, what we are doing is keeping the original thought in our bodies, which can cause disease, and we are sending out carbon copies. Now, some people, younger people, have come up to me and go, what's a carbon copy? Look it up. It's an old way of being. But think about that. We send out the carbon copies. We keep the original judgment in our bodies. So don't do it. Just don't do it. And again, I'd love to tell you I'm wearing a halo. I'm not. I learned so early on how to judge others and be critical and be backstabbing and blah, blah, blah. But I work it every day. It is a spiritual practice for me. And sometimes I'm brilliant and sometimes I'm not. But most of the time now, I can look at another human being and go, they really are doing the best they can. There are 3 shadows that block the sunshine of love. The first one is arrogance. And this is one thing I listen for in my counseling all the time. Where's the arrogant factor? And which of the individuals has the arrogance? Because arrogance says, oh, I don't have a problem. You do. You're the problem. You're the one causing the problem in our relationship. Oh my goodness. How many times have I been arrogant? And how many times have I humbled myself to go, wait a minute, what's my part in this? So my favorite story around this, you may have heard me talk about this. There was a young couple, newlywed couple. They moved into their new house and oh, it was so fun. It was so beautiful. They still had boxes all around, but they had a little breakfast nook. And the first morning, they got up and they cooked their first breakfast. They sat at the breakfast nook and they looked out and they could see the neighbor putting laundry up in her laundry line in her backyard, which they overlooked. And I went, well, that's odd. Those clothes are dirty. That lady is hanging dirty clothes. And the next morning, the lady was out there hanging clothes, and the couple was like, wow, lady. And, this was day after day after day after day. And they were like getting more and more judgment. It's like, oh my God, lady, come on. What are you doing? And then one day they sat down, they looked out the window. The lady was out there hanging up her laundry to dry, and they were clean. And the wife went, oh my God, finally she has clean clothes. And her husband very gently tapped her on her hand and said, honey, the lady has clean clothes because I washed our windows last night. We need to make sure that our windows are clean. We need to make sure that we are not judging another human being, because everyone is doing the best they can, and arrogance will keep us from love in our lives. The second shadow that keeps the sunshine of love blocked is the love of calamity. I know this one. People who love drama, trauma, and chaos will use their creative energy to constantly create dramas in their lives so they don't experience love. I think it's a learned behavior, but after a while, it's useful to go, I would rather experience harmony and love in my life than struggle and drama. Again, I know this one. My husband would say he knows arrogance. We both work with each other on that. And then the third one the third shadow that blocks the sunshine of God or love is materialism. And the idea is, of course, be wealthy, and of course, have beautiful things, and of course, drive the car you want and do the things you want to do, have a lot of money, but don't ever think that anything outside of yourself can be the source of love. Because the very source of your love is right here, right at the center of your heart. So number 6, the sixth truth. The guardians of love, and I talk about this all the time with my couples. The guardians of love are trust and respect. If we commit to being an energy of trust and respect, the love factor in our lives will just expand so easily and so beautifully and so wondrously. So we get to stop being sarcastic. We get to stop being critical. We get to stop being judgmental and realize that love is a verb more than it is anything else. Love is a verb, and our behavior of love determines the quality of our lives. The greatest gift we can ever give another human being or another something, whether it's an octopus or a dog or a plant. I have been known to talk to my plants. Oh, I used to embarrass my kids so much when we lived in Portland, because I would be outside watering the plants, talking to them. I'm like, Mom, the neighbors are watching you. And I go, I'm just talking to the plants. Look at them. They're so happy. Whatever it is, let's give love. It's the greatest gift we can give another human being. And for those of you who are young parents, oh my gosh, don't keep correcting them. It's devastating. Be curious about what they're interested in. Tell them that they can accomplish anything they want, that they have within them their own wisdom. What we need to do to be an instrument of love is to know that our very source of love is that which is breathing through us. So for now, we're going to leave the subject of love. And with poetic license, I leave you with a bit of tweaking of one of Lao Tzu's quotes. I mean, who am I to edit Lao Tzu, the great sage from Taoism, who really put Taoism on the map? If he were here, I probably wouldn't do it. But I checked in. He said, yeah, go ahead. He doesn't care. This is one of my favorite quotes. Being deeply loved by someone or something, octopus, dog, plant, another human being, gives you strength. While loving someone or something, octopus, dog, plant, whatever it might be, deeply gives you courage. Have a great loving week, everybody, and especially go love that one in the mirror. I'll see you next week. I love you dearly.